46.111111 50.00000. Hello, I'm Canon EOS photographer, Randall and Rueff. And that's right, those are the two big numbers that have just been announced. 46.1 and 50.0. And I'm talking about Canon, and I'm talking about megapixels. Now, here's the latest information we have. Rumored to be released in this time, about this time, or a little bit earlier than this time next year. A new Canon camera, professional, that supposedly is supposed to have 46.1 megapixels. I wrote the information down. It has an alleged name of the 5D-X or the 3D-X. Okay? Now, 46.1 megapixels. They're saying 5 frames per second. ISO 100 to 12,800 and 16-bit. Okay? They're also talking about a new file format outside of RAW and JPEG. Something that's going to streamline either Canon cameras or photography from on a professional level. I don't know. All they're saying is it's a new file format. Now, whether it's going to be implemented, whether it's just in development, whether they're just working on it, who knows? Obviously, they're working on it on some level. It doesn't really have a name yet, so we're not really sure. All they said it was outside of JPEG and RAW, so who knows? So that'll be interesting to see. The problem I have with going outside of JPEG and RAW, especially JPEG, is that JPEG is the universal format. Whether it be Canon, Nikon, Sony, Panasonic, whoever. JPEG is kind of a universal format. So when I use my Mac, or other people use a Mac or PC, JPEG is a universal format for photography. So I'm kind of leery of that. Unless it's somehow JPEG compatible. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. My other question is, will it have a built-in GPS sensor so you can geotag the pictures? I hope so. They just announced a mid-range Canon camera that has built-in GPS finally, so they can geotag the pictures. So hopefully this one will have geotagging built in. The 1DX has a external little device you can plug in, plus the 5D Mark III has a little thing you can put, instead of a flash, you can put this little sensor on top. They ought to be able to flash with a sensor in it, in my personal opinion, but anyway, moving on. So there's that. Now, let's talk about 50 megapixels. Information has just been released on the internet that the Canon has, in fact, come out, or not come out with, but has developed a 50.0 megapixel sensor, full frame, and when that will be implemented, who knows? But they have released information that they have, in fact, designed, at least in a prototype style, or experimental 50.0 megapixel sensor, full frame. So there's one out there somewhere, maybe there are probably several, but they're experimenting with them and they have come up with one that's functioning. So when will that be available for cameras in the Canon lineup? Who knows? But the 46.1 megapixel camera is slated for 2013, middle of the year sometime. We don't know exactly when. There's not a release date yet. But again, now these aren't completely reliable, come from the internet, but the suggested, what they believe that 46.1 megapixel camera to be, as far as names, is the 5D-X or the 3D-X. Now that's just, we don't know for sure, but that's suggested, or more than likely titles, with 46.1 megapixels, 5 frames per second, which for me, that's cool. 5 frames per second is plenty, okay? ISO of 100 to 12,800 and 16-bit. Okay, I don't really keep up on the 16-bit and the 32-bit and the 64. That really doesn't matter a whole lot to me. for the most part, as long as it's JPEG compatible. And again, that's the new file format that they're working on. We don't know a whole lot about it yet. So, that is the news for Monday, September 24th, 2012 AD. I'm Canon EOS photographer Randall and Rueff. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and may God bless you.